Not sure if it's early or late for you guys, but I know there's some of you, I think a fair number of you who are actually still here in Japan who just attended the Shizuoka show in Hamamatsu for Bandmade. But excuse me, it's been a long day. Um, just pretty much been busy nonstop, and didn't get a chance to finish the half off sushi that I bought. So cheers, guys. You're gonna watch me eat just a little bit more. Mmm. There are a few things that make me as happy as half off sushi. But hope you're doing well. Seems like a few people have joined so far. So how are you guys doing? How's the weekend been going? I'm gonna knock off a couple more of these and we're gonna get started. So for me, yesterday was a pretty full day. Well, the morning was pretty open, but then what's going on, Mike? Hope I've been well. I've been all right. My foot. Well, I've been taking the meds. Just started, so we'll see how it goes. No huge difference, but yeah, it's all right. Thank you for asking. So yeah, yesterday was a pretty full day from pretty much 3 o'clock until late at night, past midnight, because it was all Hades. Going to the show, biking. Thankfully, it didn't rain on the way there. Getting set up, just helping out a little bit, getting some merch, and then the show, which we'll get into a little bit more detail. And then hanging out a little bit afterwards. And then after that, it was coming back in the rain, which a little bit of rain I didn't really enjoy. Just kind of something I have to accept because I bike there. So it's kind of how it is. Got back, worked on some photos, again, past midnight, maybe until 1 a.m. And then the following, yeah, and then today I had to wake up for a 3-hour Zoom meeting for work. Yeah, and then more photos, quick nap, laundry, market, and then taking my last bite. So that is how my day was. And I hope you guys are doing all right. Yes, I did make it to Chelsea Hotel. That was something I most definitely planned on not missing. It's been just a little over 2 years when I first interviewed Hades. And, you know, that was such a cool and amazing experience. And I've said this before, but I just can't imagine. I can't imagine having interviewed another band. Yeah, like I'm just so grateful it was Hades. You know, I think the opportunities that I had with them, just how cool the girls are. Yeah, I mean, and to see these girls growing, still putting on incredible live shows. And again, I've said this before, but I think they're one of the best live bands in Japan. And when you have that kind of rubric, I mean, you know they're kick-ass. So, well, I mean, if you trust me. So, yeah. But yeah, let's get into it. Just so you guys know, because today is also Bandmade, SJ is working on a quick video, a recap of that with the set list and whatnot. And yeah, just a quick breakdown. And that'll be up in just a little bit. So I'm just covering last night's show at the Chelsea Hotel for Hades. For those who were in attendance, they got a nice signed flyer from the girls. This is what the girls were passing out all last week. I think especially Sara, she was passing out tons of these at Shibuya. So if you were there, you may have seen her. That's the front, and this is the back. I don't. I'm not sure if any of. I can't tell if these photos are mine or not. Yeah. So it's possible it could be Erica. And then old school picture. This is when they first debuted as Hades. And there's the QR codes. So. But yeah, it was really cool because, you know, I got my all access pass, Hades. It was really nice. There used to be a sign that said staff on here. I'm sad that I lost it. I'm not sure how it fell out. And yeah, it's kind of sad, but I do still have my all access pass. So now, the show itself was really cool. I had known about it for a little bit, and I was really, really excited to hear that they're doing. Hey, what's going on, Peter? I was really, really excited to hear that they're doing a one man. I think Hades definitely can pull it off. And if you haven't heard or didn't hear on Twitter, X, they actually sold out the show, which is great. It's fantastic. It's weird because initially I had heard that they only had sold about 130 tickets. Yeah, cut it. Have I not done a live stream since then? Maybe. I think I cut it last week. Maybe. I don't even remember. But yeah. I had asked Mayo right before the show. She said about 126 tickets. But I was watching. I was like, man, these people are just coming in and they weren't stopping. And I was like, okay, are all these people just coming in and buying just like day of tickets? I don't know what it was, but it got packed. It was sold out, so that was great to hear. And it was cool because there were a lot of people that were there. What I've noticed is that Hades tends to be a very beloved band. Not just by fans, but by fellow musicians and by people, whether it be like venue owners. I don't know. They're very. I guess what's the word? It's not quite lovely, but it's like 사랑스러워 in Korean, and it's just that yeah. There were journalists there. There were a couple of managers, different bands that were there, different agencies. To Chomo and Hero from Fill It Up, a band that I also really love, were there. Ran into them going up the stairs. Eisuke, who is the lead singer for Nine and for Maryland Marathon, the Marilyn Manson cover band that Kuya and Mayo play for. They haven't done a show in a while though. Who else was there? All of Shoujo S, Satoki, Manamix, not Vivi, not the drummer. One of the support bassist, Kuromochi. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Ronnie. Who else was there? A drummer named Hime. He used to be part of a band called I believe Sweet Guillotine. Amai Dan. No, no, Guillotine. That's another band. I can't remember, but it has Dantodai in it. Can't remember quite the name. Did photos for their band one time, but yeah, it's so there were quite a few musicians. Again, just people in the industry that were there to just see Haiti. So it was really cool that they got a lot of support, not only from fans that were there, but also just the industry. Um, and I think it's important to have that kind of support um, when you are in this industry because it does help you to get publication. It does help you to get connections and have shows made available to you to be invited to shows. It's a very important thing that you don't kind of close yourself off. Like it's very important that you understand that this industry is very networked and so many people know so many people and have been together for so many years. So if you're able to take advantage of that, it makes a huge difference. So yeah. So anyways, it was really cool to be there. I first went into my first time at Chelsea Hotel. I had passed by it tons of times because every time I leave from Shibuya to go home, that is the area I pass through. So it's actually quite a few levels, quite a few floors. Chelsea Hotel was basement level, but there's also Star Lounge, I believe Milky Way, which bandmate has played at. And I think there was another one, but I'm not quite sure. I didn't check. Um, it feels lived in. It definitely feels like there's history there. Um, the walls feel slightly decrepit, like like the paint's not all there. But that's what gives it its flavor. That's what gives um, its appeal. That's how a lot of live shows are here. Nothing really feels too brand spanking new. Feels very worn in and lived in, and I guess that's a good thing. Um, so hold on one second. I need to I need to message um, Esther really quickly because he just messaged me regarding the video, and this one's a little bit important. So let me get right back to you guys. This is what happens. This is what happens. This is a live YouTube channel behind the scenes. Um, yeah, and it's been weird. Um, Facebook has been weird. Twitter's been weird. Yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff. Anyhow, um, so yeah, it was a pretty cool venue. I believe it houses about 300, I think, capacity. That can't be quite right though, because I don't. Um, yeah, oh, it is 300. Interesting. So I don't know if they had 300 tickets available, but whatever they did have, like maybe 250, it sold out. So very, very happy for them. And what's really funny is at the end of the show, there's a fan that I'm pretty close to. We like a lot of the same bands. He loves Hades. He loves Fill It Up. He loves Whiskey Dust, Jacko Renove, like old school classic rock. Um, and I think he just turned 60 this year. He turned 60. And at the end of the show, they played a total of, I believe, 17 songs. It was about roughly an hour and a half. And he was just like, Peter, I am so tired. And I don't know, that just kind of really made me laugh. I was like, this is why maybe it's good that Hades doesn't have one man shows all the time. Fans do tend to be of, I think like quite a few of us of an older age range. But yeah, seeing him and how tired he was, and everyone else too. I mean, they had a blast. But what Sada really, really encourages, and what's really fun about Haiti's show, is that they really love the moshing, wall of death, running in circles, doing all that stuff. Like I think maybe the age is a little bit higher than others, so they don't quite do the stage diving and the crowd surfing. They're like, oh, not quite that, not quite that. Um, so, but yeah, it was really cool just to see that. Like I did. So you guys know about my foot. It's been that way for a while. But some of the sacrifices you make, and one of the sacrifices I made was having my foot stepped on um, multiple times last night, and thankfully I have started meds and it is feeling better. So things to be grateful for. Um, Man, where is that set list? Somebody had posted it, but it's not up here. Okay. So yeah, I believe it was 17 songs. They did um two encores. Um One was on their new single Blackout. Sorry. So this is the CD that is venue only available. Um it's a cool cover. I like it. So the two songs are Extreme and Blackout. Very simple, very to the point, nothing too fancy, which I do appreciate. The two songs and then the two instrumentals of those songs, Extreme and Blackout. Of those two, I do like Extreme better. Um, but they're both really great songs. And so for the encore, uh, it was Blackout, and then they closed with um, and based on what I have heard of the new songs, especially Extreme, I think they have a new hit on their hands. We'll see if that really comes to fruition. But I think Extreme is a fantastic song, and so they play that as well. So the two new songs, Blackout, I had heard actually previously like one time, um, and then a lot of the other songs that they've played just throughout the years. Um, just really fun. Their newest newer songs is one called "Pal," which is a great song. One called "Trigger," not my favorite, but it's still very lively, very active. It's sort of back and forth between Kuya and Yuri singing, which is really interesting. So, but let me go ahead and play some of Extreme for you. Not the whole thing, but it's a really good song. Is this connecting? I don't know what's going on. Oh no, what happened? Give me one moment, guys. Huh, that's strange. There we go. Okay, let me see here. Let's see if this works. But I also appreciate what I appreciate about the new songs is that they are um, a different style. Uh, the songs are a different style from. Yikes! It's like my shaver's on. The songs are a different style from the songs that are on Brings, um, Hades EP, um, and I think they're a lot more layered, um, which is interesting because the thing with Hades is that they take pride in being a very analog band.
And what I mean by that is that quite a few bands, including Bandmate and a lot of other popular big bands out there, they have backing tracks. Um, and it's no mystery. Like, there's no shame in that for a lot of bands here. Whereas I know that in the West, and I know in the States, people sort of look down on that, saying, well, shouldn't you be playing it live? There isn't that sort of, mm, yeah, it's not really frowned upon here in Japan. Because there are times where even a member of a band will not be there and they'll just have the backing track play while the other band members are there and playing. So, but these songs, these newer songs, they're quite layered, and they're quite thick and very full. So it's kind of neat. The second song, Blackout, in particular, I was listening. It's a really like rough and wild song, but it almost sounds orchestral in the way that it was arranged by Kuya. So Kuya is very talented. I'll just say that straight out. She's a very talented girl, and she's very good about creating like the sort of punk thrash. It's sort of like raw early rock metal. I mean, it's this mashup, but um, she makes them into sort of these soundscapes. Because I've heard her other stuff prior when the band was Azazel. So really good stuff. But here, let me play this for you. Hopefully, it'll actually play. And is it not? What in the world is going on? Hmm. Again. All right. Sorry, I had a Bluetooth speaker set up, but I think it's connected to this, and it's kind of messing with it. So you have to kind of hear a very tinny sound, unfortunately, but you'll hear some of it. Does it sound okay? The intro, it's got a very sort of Motorhead, Ace of Spades. If you guys can hear it, let me know. Chorus is great. Hey, Bill, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I do plan on getting it checked up soon. Thank you for. Man, I hope you're okay. Yeah, just one of the things I really love about Hades is just how raw they are. Just really raw and wild. But how melodic their songs are too. It is a different sound. Anything prior from Azazel, even from again their last EP, it's a different sound and production. So it's really cool to see. While you're listening, I'll throw up a few photos I took yesterday. Yeah, I don't know if you can actually see from here, but just like it's an old place. It's a worn, it's a worn place, well worn in. Sorry, it turns out I did play the whole thing for you. Okay, I'll play part of the second song. Interesting with this song, it basically doubles up. It's not quite a verse. It's a AABA song. So rather going straight into the chorus, they double it to kind of like stretch it out. There's a cool one of Yuri. I think Yuri, bassist, has like the best snarl. When she gets into it, she gets into it. All right. So yeah, those are the two songs. Thank you so much. I'll be sending all the photos over to the girls. I'll have to ask and see if I can post a few myself. It depends. Some bands, there's no problem with that. Some bands, want all the photos. It's always different with different bands and like what they allow. Hmm. Yeah, the girls haven't even seen these photos, so maybe I should have sent it to them first. Yikes. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. They're not being posted. They can't be like downloaded and saved. So unless some of you are like screenshotting and like zooming in close. But yeah, fantastic songs. The night itself was really, really fun. What was really interesting is at the very beginning, Sada came out and she was kind of giving certain rules. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. So Sada was giving out these rules, in Japanese and saying like this and this and this and this. And then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, now we will share these things in English." And I was like, "Wait, what? Did she learn how to say all these things in English?" There's like 11 points. um, maybe it was AI. I think maybe it was AI. I would imagine so, something to that effect. But there was this lady speaking with like almost a southern drawl. I mean, going through the points and the rules of what was to be done or not done. And it was being said and done in a way where it was like you are an army that's about to go out. And that is what Sara does call Hades fans, like Hades Army. Not quite the same as BTS Army, for those of you who know. But yeah, that was really interesting. Really, really fun too and unexpected. So MC times, Sara is always hilarious. She's really got a good grip of the people. Like, I would say in another lifetime, she'd be a great general um, of an actual army. I kid you not. I think she's very, very good at that. So, the cool thing is, and I can share this because they do have a photo of them outside the venue after the show, but they have new outfits. And for anybody who is a bandmate fan, it's kind of, it's always fun to see what new thing they're going to wear. There are some bands like Dim Rays who aren't tied down to a certain outfit. Maybe even a band like Gangire, they wear kind of what they want to wear and however they feel. But with certain bands like Bandmate, there's their battle gear. They wear this in particular for their shows, and that's it. And I do believe that Hades has been wearing. They've had a couple of iterations actually. The very, very first time they came out, and then they changed it up. Like I think right before they dropped Bring It On, and slight little changes, like slight little hair changes. I noticed that Yuri had changed like her skirt one time. These are things that I catch. Maybe it's because I grew up with three sisters, or I'm just more aware of these things visually. But yeah, so that got changed up. And it's interesting. There's a lot more bling. Um, yeah, there's a lot more bling this time for all the girls. And Yuri even has a headband, which is interesting to see. More cute, I guess. So, but it's cool. And then um, Mayo, she wears a tie for her outfit now, which is really, really cool. I think girls with ties always look good. Um, Even back in the day, I thought Avril Lavigne looked cool. For anybody who has no issues with Avril Lavigne, or maybe you do, but I just thought it was cool when a girl wore a necktie. Of course, um, for Mayo's necktie, she has spikes all over it. It's a spiked necktie, which is really cool. So I don't believe she played with it on. So yeah. Yeah, so it was a really great time. I had a fantastic time with the girls, seeing them again, as always. Very happy to be a part of that journey, and yeah, it's just really cool to see them doing something different and new, and really just I think pushing their limits and doing something beyond. So really happy about that. Show was fantastic. Everybody there had a great time, lots of fun. So, but yeah, yeah, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Okay, let's see here. All right, guys. Couple of other things I want to talk about. Um, oh well, as I was leaving, the band that Yuri supports on bass is called Shoujo S, and they do have a one man on July 24th. It's a Thursday, so I can't attend. It is at Lifehouse Crescendo, which is home base for a lot of bands because I don't know. They just love being there. I think Mikio, the owner, is just really cool dude. And yeah. Oh, and then here's the back. There are actually quite a few photos that I took that are up here, which is really cool. Like I don't know, it's cool to feel a part of Japanese rock metal history, even if it's just photos. I feel like that's a really cool thing to do. And then Yurimon, no, Maximum the Yurimon, which is the Maximum the Hormone cover band that Yuri plays for. Um, like they were all there as well. And then this drummer Kantan, who plays for tons of different bands and support. Amazing, amazing. He's played with Mellows. Um, who else? I think Amai Dantodai, The Frail, just quite a few number of bands. And they have a show coming up as well on the 27th of next month. So good stuff, good stuff. Um, Another cool thing that I would like to share with you, some of you may know, I'm actually, oh, I did share this on the community page. Um, but this is something that I never quite expected. So, the very first time that my photos were ever put up on the internet, it was for Burn magazine. It was an article on Hades. So that was a really cool thing, like early on. I think towards the end of 2023. And then last year, or was it this year actually, the really, really cool thing was taking photos for Sally and then her using my photos for like a calendar for promotional stuff, and then actually having one of my photos at Tower Records. So that was a really cool thing to see. I don't know, like it's not something that I expected. Like I loved photography. It was a hobby that I considered taking as a career, which never took off. And I thought, okay, I'll never do anything with this camera. I gotta sell it. But then now to see it being used in this way, so seeing my photo at Tower Records like behind the display, and again also because as a huge bandmate fan, like I'd always seen those things being there. But Doll Parts had an article. It was a report of their one man show, um, and it was written by this guy Hidaneo Adachi. He's been a fan, and if you ever go to a show and you see this guy like going off playing air guitar, that's him. He gets very sweaty, and he's just like he gets into it. Um, yeah, so he wrote up this report, and it appeared on Barks. And for those of you who know, Barks is very well known. Um, Huge amount of bandmate articles are put up on there. So yeah, so my photos appeared on there. It was really really cool. So some of them photos were taken by another photographer that was there, and I think he was officially hired by them. Um, but then I was going, so I said, Arisa, do you think I can go? And she said, yeah. So, and can I take photos? She's like, yes, please. And then she asked me later on, can I use your photos? I was like, oh my God, yes. So here I'll just kind of scroll down. So there's a photo. Not mine, not mine, not mine. This one is mine. I don't know if that sounds petty, but so this one is mine. Uh, Everything you see is mine, unless I say it's not. This is Koji. Great guitarist, even better composer. Great songwriter, great songwriter. So yeah, um, really cool. Another something to add, I guess, to my portfolio, which I don't know exactly where that portfolio will lead to or go. Thank you so much. I don't know quite where that portfolio will go and how it's going to be used because I'm still not like getting played like on a regular basis. Yeah, I've seen videos of their bassist. I don't know him, never met him, never saw him, but he seemed pretty animated when he played. Um, but I'm sure they have their reasons. So yeah, it's kind of cool to have these things happening. Oh, and another thing that I will share with you is that I did get a chance to actually take photos of Risky Melody. It's interesting because they're the first band. They're the first band that no, not the very first band, but one of the first bands um, that I went to go see in Tokyo as I was traveling here to see a bandmate show. But on like an off day, I went to go see Risky Melody, Little Lilith, and this band called Maze, alt idol group. Um, and so that first day, I spoke to Alice a lot, spoke with Asumi, their guitarist, and I actually live really close to their home base called Voice Factory in Shimokitazawa. But it was my very first time going to, because they have a cafe on top, cafe bar, and then downstairs is where the actual venue is really really small. I have not. I had a screwdriver there. So yeah, maybe I'll try it next time if I get to go. So I went on a week where Asumi was serving the guitarist, and she had posted on Twitter uh, that she would be working there that night. So I went. Nobody was there, so it was just me and her chatting. And then Alice came out, and I started chatting with them. We had this full-on English conversation, and the drinks were actually the first drink there was free or half off. Half off. Um, that's kind of why I went. I like half off. I hear half off. I'm like, okay, what is it? But they also said the following Tuesday, and I had to go to the hospital and left work early, so it seemed as though I could attend the show. It was this past Tuesday, and it was my first time there ever. And if it's your first time, you can go in free. So I was like, yay, bonus. So I paid just for my drink fee, and then I went down, saw Michael Barber there. Michael Barber has been a longtime bandmate fan. We've interviewed him before. He is the guy who is running the One Sky thing, um, where he's trying to get bands from Japan over to the States for exposure and to help them to grow. Really cool thing. Um, get into that maybe a little bit later. But so he was there, spoke with him about stuff. We hung out afterwards. But again, I took photos, really cool. Getting a chance to be in a really small venue. I mean, it's like a really tall, like little small little box. Um, but that was fun to be there for and to take photos. And I'll share a few photos of them as well if you guys don't mind. Um, let's see here. Yeah, this is another Haru on bass, just like Bright Ear. Um, there she is again. This is Heidi. She is the new support keyboardist. Their former keyboardist left due to issues with fans being a little bit too hands-on and obsessive, which is it's sad. It's sad. Um, but yeah, so she has come in as support. Nice picture of Alice, 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 Asumi, um, another Haru. They're all kind of scattered, but here's a really cool one that I liked of Asumi. Lighting was good. I will say that if any of you are into photography, um, and if you haven't shot a concert before, especially at a small venue, it's just it's hit or miss a lot of times because the lighting, just how bad it can be, just how far and distant the drummer can be, just a lot of different things. It's different when it's a larger venue and the lights are really good and you can see everything. But every now and then you get a really nicely lit shot, and this is a really nicely lit shot of Asumi that I really liked. So, but she's a really cool girl. It's funny because she said that I don't know if I shared this already. I don't know who I've talked to, but I told her, um, or I asked her if you could tour with any band, either now or in the past, like who would you want to tour with? And she said Van Halen. I was like, no way, Eddie Van Halen is my absolute favorite. He is my guitar hero. And I asked her, do you know Erica Van Halen? Whiskey Dust. She's like, no, I don't. I was like, oh my God, how do you not? But that's how it is. Like you know the musicians in your circle well, and those bands and those musicians. But outside of that, so there are circles that don't quite connect, and they've never done shows, and there's no reason for them to really know each other. Um, so yeah, Whiskey Dust I think is not because they've only played at a couple of venues, maybe three or four total, but mostly at Thundersnake, their home base. And so they don't get a chance to really interact with too many different bands compared to other bands here in Tokyo. But I was like, oh my gosh! So I played her a video of Erica playing some Eddie stuff. She's like, oh. It's like, yeah, you should, check out more of the stuff. and even Ayae, Risky Melody's drummer. We were talking, and then talking about like drummers that she likes, and then she mentioned uh, Cozy Powell, and I was saying, oh my gosh, do you know Natsumi from Brideer? And it's like Natsumi has done like rainbow tributes, and she's like done these solos and all these kind of things, and she's like, oh wow, that's really cool. But she seemed a little unfamiliar with Natsumi. So again, it's like even though the circles may like be next to each other, they don't actually. There's no like Venn diagram sometimes, um, unless maybe you're someone like Mayo, who's been around for ages and like knows everybody really, and everybody knows Mayo. I think um, there are a few out there. There are a few people who are known very very well, but then I think within that, again, there's circles. I'm just doing this. All right, guys. Um, so yeah, that was another really cool thing. Uh, Other last stuff that I want to share or say. Um, well, you guys heard about Aldius, right? Uh, so they are coming to a close. Um, yeah, and I mean, I can't say I was like really following Aldius all that much, recently. Um, but they were a band that early on, along with bandmate that I really liked. Loved Reno's voice. Thought Sweet Temptation was just such an awesome song. So yeah. Um, but they do have a few shows lined up, I believe, in August, and I would love to go. But again, it's a work day, and so I don't think I'll be able to attend. Um, but yeah, they've definitely made their mark, and I definitely enjoy them. For those of you guys who don't listen to Aldius or know, Sweet Temptation, right? Great song. I believe Radiant A. Yeah, Sweet Temptation. Great song. Great song. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm sure there's stuff I'm missing. There's probably stuff I wanted to mention and then just sort of blanked out on. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Um, this coming Saturday, I will be attending uh, a show at Sunrise, and this is with Aya, not Undying Words, but with her other sort of mercenary band, her Queen team, which is Gina from ASMR, Mellows, her own stuff, The Frail, Yui from My Little Devil on bass, and then Arisa Sato from Emanon, along with Aya singing. They'll be performing there, but there are other bands along with them. Maybe more obscure, smaller bands, but also really cool bands still. Crimson Spider Lily, Moth in Lilac, Dramatic End, and Shoujo S. So I will be taking photos for at least two of those bands, Aya and Shoujo S. I think I'm going to reach out to Lisa 13 and see if I can do photos for Moth in Lilac as well. I'm sure they wouldn't mind. Um, so yeah, because I went to go see her other band with Misaki, Garok Tokyo. And then following that, there is a Dimray show the following week in the morning, then a Gangire show in the evening. These are both at Antinoch. Um, and yeah, there's other stuff, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I am trying to attend still fewer shows. I don't know ultimately what the outcome of my foot is going to be. I have started meds, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. But thank all of you guys for the constant support. And I will, yes, she does like to model and with all her um, band inspired clothing. I've seen a lot of those from her. So that's cool. I'm happy for her. That's good. Um, definitely super talented. So yeah, um, so that's my general recap review of the Hades show. Again, like I just feel like Hades is just one of the best live bands. Like they're incredible. I mean, I don't know if the music will be for everyone. There are people who like things more technical. I think there are bands maybe Nemophila, where every musician is very pretty much top tier in terms of like technicality and what they bring to the table in terms of what they can play. Hades is not like that. They're a very brutal, simple, but like punch in your face, punch in the gut kind of band, which I love so much. There's a stripped down quality about them that's very raw and it touches and grabs and kind of chews on my heart in a way that um, not many bands can do um, anywhere in the world. So I'm very, very happy that I found them, and I'm so happy that they let me, you know, hang out with them. That's nice, but they are busy, and yeah, we'll see. I'm just excited to see what's to come, and I just hope I can be a part of that and help them in any way. And I would definitely love if they can. I don't want to go into this whole thing that I posted on Twitter and other places. John Reeves, if you guys have seen our video, I spoke to him briefly about it, and I don't want this to go too long because I do, have work to do and need to get rest. But there is the issue of the U.S. visa system, particularly for foreign artists who are visiting and want to tour the states. Um, just very quickly, I'll say I do think it's outrageous. I do think it's almost extortion and abuse of power that the U.S. visa system and the U.S. CIS is basically trying to take money from these foreign artists to pay off things for them. There's like an asylum fee. I mean, there's apparently supposedly backlogging that trying to take care of. Um, but basically, I will say I don't think it's a good system. I do think it's crazy that bands have to pay 1,600 a member. Yeah, I think anybody would have wanted to see Right Here. Um, $1,600 a member plus all these legal fees because they do need a lawyer to present documentation. And even someone who has worked with Nemophila has said earlier years there were just a few pages of documentation to go through. And it changed over the years from anywhere from 200 to 300 pages of documentation necessary. Um, a minimum of like 10 articles written about this band and proving that they're of sort of extraordinary ability. And that's not what music is about. I don't think it should be about people of sort of extraordinary ability who want to tour. It should be people who want to share their music and people like what is that, So there's a lot of things I have issues with um, about that. And again, I don't want to go too long into this just because I have work to do and I have rest, and this could be this whole long thing. But if you guys do have any interest in learning more about it, head on over to John Reeves Live. That's Reaves. And he has a video posted where he sort of reads certain sections. There is more detail, and I think the dangerous thing is to politicize it and just be satisfied and comfortable sort of pointing fingers at who does what and who did this and who did that. I think it is what it is, and it should be changed. And I think if you guys in the states back home maybe can reach out to whatever local congressman, just legislators, whoever you can reach out to and sort of make a comment about. I'm going to talk to John more about this, and um, yeah, I'm going to talk to John about this and see if we can sort of spearhead something and make this sort of bigger, make some more noise, and try to make changes. Because what One Sky, the organization, is doing as a nonprofit, they're paying all of these fees for these bands to come over because they can, and they are trying to get donations But I don't think it should be about that. I don't think we should be paying off these exorbitant amounts of money. Um, I think the system needs to be changed, and I do think the fees needs to be changed. So yeah, sorry, that's my soapbox. Just very unhappy about how things are now, and unhappy that bands can't get in for those various reasons. But let's continue to support our bands here in Japan, and elsewhere too. I mean, neighboring bands, whether it be the Warning, uh, in Mexico, or Justin Bieber in Canada, because all you Justin Bieber fans out there. But yeah, please continue supporting your bands. Let's help really in any way that we can, and again, make some noise when we need to. Just have a good time when we can. So, anyhow, thank you guys so much for having watched this. I do appreciate those of you who stuck around. Um, More good stuff to come, more photos, and we'll see what else. And hopefully, soon enough, I will not be talking about my foot ever again, ever, ever, ever again. So, hope you guys have a good Sunday, or a good Monday, depending on what time it is, wherever you are. And yeah, I definitely encourage you guys, if you can, make it over to Japan, see some Hades, and every other band that's here, because there's just too many. So thank you guys so much. I will see you guys again. Really appreciate it. But yeah, let's just keep on keeping on. Okay, this has been Peter from Eminem. I'll see you guys later. Oh yeah, that's the Hades shirt. I wore this. Didn't even show you. All right, bye guys.